Eat, Sleep, Fly, Fish show.
Welcome to the Eat, Sleep, Fly, Fish podcast. I'm Roger Wilson. It's been a long time since we've done one of these podcasts, but we're back, and we've dusted off the old road equipment, podcast equipment here. It's got dust all over it. I think the last time we done a podcast was with this gentleman right here, Michael Bradley. We are here at the Bradley Campground in Cherokee, North Carolina. Mike, do you remember the last time we did that podcast?
Either late 2019 or early 2020.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about the beats and the different sessions, and there was high water. It was cold and rainy and lots of flows, and
Yeah, there was a lot of water that year.
yeah. So anyway, so Michael, you've kind of been on a competition tear here lately. You've won the national championship in 24.
Yeah.
And just competed in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
Czech Republic.
Well, not only that, the 2024 Worlds, I got fourth there too.
Fourth, you got fourth the previous year, and then third this year. So bronze medalist this year. I guess that means second place next year, or just going to skip second and go straight to first.
I'll take either.
It's a huge accomplishment. Matter of fact, how many individuals have medaled in the world championship from the U.S.?
The men's or the seniors, I know Devin and Lance have, myself, and I think there's one more from Pennsylvania. I don't know his name.
Wow.
But way before my time, though.
Yeah. Well, again, huge accomplishment. So, the last podcast we did, I think we talked about, I guess getting on the world team, making the team, then getting on the world team. So I wanted to, I don't know that we talked a ton about your background, so I thought it'd be good to talk about your background. Now, you grew up here in Cherokee, North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up on Bunches Creek. I was there for 14 years, and then we moved down here to the campground in 2004, I believe. Maybe late 2004, and lived with my grandma.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, so I guess growing up on Bunches Creek and here on the Ravens Fork, or the kind of Lufty, I guess you were exposed to trout at an early age, right?
Very early, yeah. I mean, so long ago, I don't remember when it was, before I started kindergarten.
Yeah.
So
Did you kind of just venture out on the rivers on your own, or did you have somebody kind of introduce you to it?
My dad and grandpa both took me at a young age, and from there, I mean, when I was 5, 6, 7 years old, I was going just out here behind the campground with just a stick and some string and a hook, catching whatever would bite. I didn't catch any trout doing that, but little horny heads and the dace, shiners, stuff like that. But when I found out how to cast a rod, that's when it was over.
Changed the game a little.
Oh yeah.
Well, I've kind of always thought that the rod or the reel doesn't really make the angler, and I think I've probably even told people, I said, well, Michael Bradley could probably go out there with a stick and a string and win competition. So it sounds like you have done that. You've caught fish with a stick and a string. So your grandpa and your dad kind of showed you some things.
Yeah. And before that, I mean, before I was even born, I don't know how old my dad and his siblings were, but my grandpa used to teach fishing. I guess post-military. He taught some fishing, and there were a few articles about him teaching in various areas.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know until a few years ago.
So he, living in this area, he just taught fishing.
I think it was some of the places where he was stationed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I guess he grew up here as well in Cherokee?
Yeah, he grew up on Bunches Creek.
Wow.
That's where I currently live.
Yeah. Well, you know, we take for granted where we grow up and where we live because we're just used to it.
Yeah.
But people come from outside or other areas, and they're like, "Wow, this is just so incredible."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty cool, and it sounds like it's kind of been passed down to generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think I'm the only one that actually took up fishing out of my entire family, but
Well, no,
that's
your
okay.
dad's a pretty good angler.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he taught you or you taught him.
A bit of both.
Yeah.
A bit of both. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
He-
seen him fish a lot, and I've always thought he was a good angler.
He taught me the bait casting and spin fishing, and I taught him the fly fishing.
Yeah.
So
You guys have won some, like the old Rumbles
Yeah.
back in the day. You've
Yeah,
won
we-
some of those, haven't
we
you?
paired up in the Rumble in 2018 or 19, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And in the last session, he actually ended up catching the big fish of the tournament. It was like 67 centimeters.
Cool.
And we ended up winning that.
So, what year were you born? I'll date you a little bit here.
Well, my birthday's July 26, 1990.
1990. Okay, so you grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. So what was how has life changed in Cherokee over that time span? Was the casino here? When did the
98,
casino
I
come?
believe, or
98.
99.
Okay, so you were 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
Casino's already here.
Yeah. It didn't look like it does right now, though.
Yeah.
And for the most part, that's the biggest change. A few other changes. They tore down our high school. The high school I went to up here, they tore it down, and they built a new school up on Big Cove Road. They've introduced a catch and release fly fishing section only that they call it the trophy section. There's some good fish in there, but not like it used to be whenever they first started it. But there's a 2-mile stretch of that. And I mean, other than that, there's not been a whole ton of changes in the area. Just steady traffic.
Do you think there's more tourism now or back when you were younger?
That's a tough one. I would say probably maybe it seemed like there was more back when I was younger for like being in downtown and stuff, but now we get a lot of traffic going to the national park. So I think it's kind of the same, but the money's being spent in different places.
So when I was growing up, the casino wasn't here, and it was just, getting your just the heritage is what you came for, right?
Yeah.
The Conaluftee Village.
There's still a good amount of people that come for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, that and the casino now is
Yeah.
really. So do you think the casino's been good for the area?
I think so. I mean, they're employing into the thousands.
Yeah.
So if people need a job, it's usually pretty easy to get on board with them.
Well, I know
As
you
long
have.
as they have a good work history.
I know you have one of probably the nicest high schools in the state.
Yeah.
I'd say
Yeah.
it's pretty incredible. A lot of infrastructure they've built, playgrounds and
ton.
things.
Yeah.
It's been good.
The
Awesome.
arenas and the basketball arena and the football stadium are both top notch.
Yeah. So now your dad, when your dad talks about you, of course he'll talk about your. Well, he doesn't mention a ton. You're a great angler. He more talks about your humility and your humbleness. Where do you think that came from?
I don't know. I just probably me not liking to talk in front of people,
Yeah.
I would say. So I do struggle with that. Doing what we're doing right now is fine.
But
You
crowds.
asking questions and me answering them is fine, but if I had to stand up and talk about myself, I'd probably pass out.
Well, I think shyness is one thing, and but humility is a different. I think you're not You finished fourth in the world, now bronze. You've won the national championships, and you're not a braggy type person.
No.
You just you'd rather turn the attention on others than yourself, and that's a different kind of characteristic. And I know your dad talks about that a lot.
Yeah.
So I was going to say it probably came from your mother then.
Probably.
But so your grandmother your grandmother grew up, or you lived here on the campground with your grandmother, right?
Yeah.
Did she fish a little, or did she?
She could fish pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and my grandpa, they fished together all the time.
Yeah. Did she? Would she clean them up and fry them sometimes?
He would do the cleaning and she would do the cooking.
Yeah.
So, and I really miss her cooking.
Yeah.
I wish I was smart enough back then to take notes on how she made certain things.
Yeah. Everybody probably misses grandma's cooking.
Yeah.
And yeah, so note to everybody out there that still has their grandmas.
Yeah.
Get the recipes down, right?
Yep. Take some notes.
Now it could be, so my aunt just recently passed away, and she made the best cream style corn. I mean, just phenomenal. And I kept telling my cousin, her daughter, I said, you need to get this recipe, right? Like, you need to learn how to make this. Because once this, I've never had cream style corn that good anywhere else. But she taught my cousin how to make it, but my cousin still couldn't make it like she could. She said, I don't know what she's doing. So some things can't be taught,
Yeah. I think that's true for around here, like when it comes to making fry bread and chili. Just certain traditional dishes that you can be showed all your life and never know how to make it taste the same as your parents or your grandparents did.
Yeah. So talking about some things you just can't teach, what about fly fishing? Do you think that translates to fly fishing? Do you think some things just can't be taught, right?
Yeah, and I believe that's like the natural instinct part. And there's things that I do that I just cannot explain. I don't know what goes through my mind whenever I see certain things and I know that I need to make certain changes. It's just, and I think that boils down to just being on the water, the amount of time I've spent making cast after cast for certain fish and just watching their behavior.
Yeah.
And you just can't teach that. I mean,
yeah,
people have to learn that on their own and have to experience it.
And you can't prepare for every scenario. You can only see many, many scenarios transpire over time, and then you recognize the pattern, right?
Yeah.
So, I totally get that, and I do believe that. I believe time on the water, there's no replacement for it. And some things, I think almost really good anglers, probably like really good hunters or artists or anything else, is probably born, right?
I think so. I think you can teach yourself to be a really great angler too, but it's just putting the time in out there.
Yeah.
I mean, living here, I was fishing 6-7 days a week versus where, let's use Scott Asbo for example. He lives in Raleigh, so he can't fish 6-7 days a week, but he puts in time and his skill level just shot up pretty quick because he's making those long drives.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a month to practice.
Putting in the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one of these, I'd been thinking, what kind of questions would I need to ask Michael that I think people would want to know the answer to, and I don't know if this is one of them or not, but it's certainly one that I'm interested in because, interest in anything can be overdone, or people can get burned out on it. You put so much time and energy and focus into something and getting better and better and better, and then once you've won the national championship, you've medaled at the world I mean, you've kind of done it all. is there interest in just going out and catching a fish anymore, or is
Oh,
it
yeah.
just yeah?
Yeah, I think I'm more interested in that right now than competing. But the competition stuff's always there. I mean, I don't lose my competition mindset when I'm out fun fishing. Like, I still try to figure stuff out, and I think for me, these last 2 world championships, I tried more to have fun than to go out and just get distracted by I've got to do this and I've got to do that.
Just have a good time
Yeah.
at the World Championship.
Yeah. In practice and in competition.
Well, I think, I've heard high level competitors in a lot of different sports talk about not getting caught up in the moment. Not thinking about outcomes, I guess.
Yeah.
And that sounds like what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
Because if you're just having fun, then you're not thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm in second or third place right now. I could be on the podium, or
Yeah.
things of that nature. You're just doing what it takes to catch the fish, right?
Yeah.
And watching you compete over years, I've always felt like you were just fishing. Like, I never saw you run to a controller.
Yeah.
I've never seen you
Yeah.
sprinting up to hit this section or that section.
Yeah.
You've always just kind of been laid back and slow and methodical. But fly fishing is something you can't force or rush ever.
No.
I don't think.
Yeah.
So I think that your skill set is naturally transitions over to fly fishing.
Yeah.
Just your personality and everything.
Yeah. Not that I wouldn't run. I just feel like, for me, I don't have great knees. So I don't want to risk running and hurting a knee or an ankle. So that's the main reason I don't run. I broke my knee when I was 13 out here being crazy. So that don't help anything.
Yeah. Well, you didn't you hurt your leg in New York at one of the competitions, your foot or something at one point?
Yeah, I rolled my ankle in New York.
Yeah, you wasn't running.
But that wasn't running. That
You
was
wasn't
just
running.
I was just wading in some
Muddy
some
banks.
slick rocks there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
Forgot about that one.
something else that I've noticed about you in your fishing? I think there's tremendous power in simplicity, and for whatever reason, wrong or right or wrong, I've always felt like you have a lot of genius in the fact that you can just boil things down to its simplest thing. It's like I've seen you win sessions and people come up and say, "What in the world? How did you do that? Because that beat was hard and whatever." You're like, I just run a pheasant tail through there, or I just run an egg through there, and they're like, "What? What?" Very simple. All right.
Yeah.
Your fly box. I mean, you don't have a ton of variation in your fly box, would you say?
Not typically.
Yeah.
So this year was probably the most varied fly box that I've had, based on the venues that we fished. I typically don't fish a lot of tag nymphs. I'll have maybe a dozen at most in there, and right now I've got close to 100.
Is that well? I mean, I know that came from the checks, didn't
Yeah,
it? The tag nymph,
I think so.
and that's what was working over there, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my next question, because you fished. I don't know how many world championships have you fished now?
That was number 6.
Okay, so we'll work backwards. Czech,
France, Slovakia, Spain, and then a 2-year break, not a break, but 2020 and 2021
COVID.
was COVID, so we opted out of those 2. 2019 we were in Tasmania, and 2018 in Italy.
So, do trout act like trout no matter where they are, or do they act different depending on where they are?
Most cases they act the same. They will. Usually it's just where they're holding, not what they're eating. So it's almost always the same bugs everywhere we've been. This year was probably the most, I would say, the most difficult for learning the flies and the style, because there were so many bugs out. There was like 5 different bugs hatching at all times.
Wow.
And they wanted dry flies, see fish rising everywhere, but you couldn't just cast a dry fly out and let it drift and they'd eat it. You had to. This year, I mean, it was kind of late in practice, but we figured out dancing the dry flies was going to be something that we were going to do majority of the time.
Well, it's pretty interesting, but my home waters is South Holston, and everybody knows South Holston's kind of a sulfur, right? Everybody uses the sulfur, and sulfurs hatch a lot, almost all summer long. But you can take a caddis out there, and you can make that caddis dance, and those fish can't refuse it.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's if sulfurs are all around, The dancing dry fly is powerful.
Yeah.
Because I imagine it looks more like the natural, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This year too, I mean, something new for me at Worlds was pulling streamers a lot, like probably half the time. If it wasn't pulling streamers, it was dancing the dry fly, and you just had to show up to your beat and be like, I got to figure out which one they want.
And it could be one or the other.
Could be one or the other. Or you would get a beat with some coarse fish, and they would eat nymphs, and that was it. Some of the chubs would eat dry flies. But luckily, we didn't get many of the beats that you had to go and search for the roach and chub and perch. And we did catch some. I scored a couple. They were just mixed in with trout.
But it didn't alter your game plan, right?
No.
Okay.
No, they still ate the same flies for the most part.
I thought that was an interesting twist.
Yeah. There were people over there scoring pike. Like, there was like a 80-centimeter pike scored.
Wow. Get you some size points there with that boy.
Yeah. It probably got caught a few times, honestly.
Yeah.
There was more than just the one. I think one guy scored 2 or 3 in a session.
When I think about Czech style, I guess, of course, I think of the tag nymph. I think of the original, the Czech that's really known for kind of starting that technique, Vladi, and using heavy nymphs, dredging the bottom.
Yeah.
And also streamers, because I know that I can't remember the guy's name now, but there's one of the Czech world team guys. I think he's older now. Kind of got a big woolly beard. He's a big streamer guy. And what is that black and chartreuse fly that he kind of invented?
It's got like the chartreuse at the bend of the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know the name. I suck with the names of flies, honestly.
Yeah.
I got to know them all. If I see them, I was like, yeah, I've seen that plenty of times. I just don't know the names.
Yeah, I can't remember the name. I'll find the name and put it on here. But I remember seeing that fly, and they were talking about, like, that fly was such a game changer in the World Championships for them. And I think that's kind of our slump, or what was it called? Chartreuse bead and a black body. I mean, everybody throws them now, right? But I think it's kind of the same
Blank
thing.
saver?
Yeah, the blank saver. It's kind of the blank saver, only the chartreuse is at the head of the fly rather than the butt section, like their old fly was. But I think it's probably the same thing.
Yeah, I done pretty well on that fly in practice.
Did you?
On the blank saver, not the one you're thinking of.
Yeah. So, well, let's just talk about this coming world championship, or this past world championship. So, and you can talk about whatever, and we can pull it out later if we disclose any secrets or anything. But so I guess gathering intel going over there. You guys always find a guide, right?
Yeah.
To kind of help you navigate things, and Are these guides at other countries considered like traders?
According to him, he was pretty shunned for teaching us some stuff. Which
Really?
it was nothing we didn't know,
Yeah.
and weren't shown by the youth team as well.
Yeah, because the youth team was there the year before,
Yeah,
right? And they won the gold.
Yeah, they showed us some flies, and even our captain, I said Brett, Glade. Glade had some flies for us as well, and
Because Glade
I mean,
Glade had fished over there or something?
Glade was there last year as well.
Okay.
I think they were there at 2 different times though.
Okay.
It was like the Masters and Women's in May, or May or June, but then the youth in July or August, whenever it was. But yeah, we already had some flies, and our guide, he said, yeah, the Czech team's mad at me for showing y'all the tag net. I was like, we already knew. We already had it tied up in our boxes before he sent pictures, and
Yeah.
so. But yeah, I don't think he showed us anything too crazy. I mean, the flies we earned a medal with were pretty much flies that were from America.
Well, the youth team being over there, and they fished the same waters, right? Didn't you fish a lot of the same waters?
Yeah, it was all the same waters.
So that's huge.
Except the lake, I believe. I don't think they had a lake.
Yeah.
Maybe they did. I don't remember. But we had a lake session.
So that was good, getting that information.
Yeah.
So you went over there 2 weeks before the tournament?
We left on the 15th, got there on the 16th, and me and Austin flew together. So we got there on the 16th, and we were actually able to get out and practice on the 16th when we got there. It was, I think, a 2-hour drive to where we were staying, which isn't bad. I mean, most of the time it's like 3.5, 4 hours to get to where we're going. We get there, we're too tired to fish, but we got there and got on after it.
And what was kind of was there an eye-opening moment on that first day of like, wow, this place looks totally different, or hey, these fish act just like they do at home, or?
So the totally different part was the tannic water. I mean, you couldn't see where you're walking.
Oh, wow.
It was like looking through.
Like tea-colored, or?
It was like tea-colored, but dark.
Wow.
It's maybe more coffee-colored.
Wow.
Like if you had a light-colored coffee that you could see through.
So not a lot of sight fishing in this type of water, right?
Only the risers.
Okay.
Like if you seen one rise, you could throw over and find a way to catch it, whether it's dabbing the dry or dead drifting the dry, however you want to call that.
Wow. But did you guys start catching them right away?
No, I wouldn't say instantly. It took us a little bit. I think that practice session I caught like 6 or 7 fish. Austin and Mike showed up about an hour after we did, no, he was there. He showed up. He got dropped off by his parents. We were already there for a little bit, but he got dropped off by his parents where we were fishing.
So Mike showed up, and you guys.
Yeah, we practiced for about hour and a half, and I'm pretty sure every single day we practiced it rained at some point.
Oh, wow.
And it wouldn't be like no drizzle. It would be a dang downpour.
Ugh.
There was a couple days we got to go without, but for the most part, it rained every day.
Wow. But you progressed every day, and you figured out different things along the way.
Yeah.
So the Czech nymphs were working, dry flies, streamers.
Yeah, some worms, some eggs. It was just, I mean, throughout the course of the day, I was cycling through. Once we figured the flies out, I mean, we knew half of them already. So through the course of the day, I would change probably 5 or 7 different dry flies and 6 or 8 different nymphs, just constant cycle.
Yeah.
Like if you knew where the fish were, if you seen one rise, there was usually a couple fish with them.
Just try different things until something worked.
Yeah.
So you did that for how many days you say you had for practice? Although they were rainy.
The 16th until the 24th.
Okay.
What is that, 8 days?
Yeah.
8, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4. 9 days.
I do remember the last podcast we did, you talked about preparation, and you said a lot of the other teams had 2 weeks. You guys only had like a week.
Yeah, this was prior to, let's see, Slovakia. From Slovakia and before that. So 2023 and earlier, we were only getting like 5 days of practice to figure stuff out. But now we're self-funded. We have to pay our own way, pay for our own lodging and everything. And we're okay with paying a little extra to go a little earlier and learn a little more, and it paid off first year.
Make it count, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to go.
Yeah, we had like 7 or 8 days of practice in France and medaled there as a team. Get 9 days of practice in Czech Republic and
Medaled again.
Get a team medal and individual medal.
Maybe that's all you needed was a little more time.
Yeah. I don't know how many days we're going to get in Idaho, but
Is it? Oh, it's in the U.S. this year, the next World Championship?
October 26th.
Well, they figuring you just following the youth team around, huh?
That's usually what they do.
Yeah.
I think they, in what I think, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think they do the youth masters and women's in order to test it out and see if it's feasible. And then because the seniors is such a big competition. I mean, 32 teams in Czech Republic it was a madhouse every day.
Wow. Yeah.
But they done really well with it, I think, as far as getting people on the buses and when and where to be and getting you to your judge.
That's a huge undertaking.
Oh, yeah, it's insane.
And then you've got, I'd be a nervous wreck just making sure I get where I'm supposed to be, right? And then you got the language barrier too, right?
There is a pretty good language barrier. I feel like everywhere I've been, everyone's been able to speak English, and I've not been able to speak any of their.
Lucky for us, right?
Yeah.
Lucky for the U.S. guys.
Yeah. But, I mean, they have good cell service, so we're able to use Google Translate as well, and I do that a lot. Even if they can understand English, I'll type it out and make sure certain things are correct.
You type it out and show it to them. You don't type it out and try to read it, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the team that went over there this year, because I'll put a clip to this, but I do remember the last podcast we did. I asked you who the best anglers in the country were, and I believe you told me most of the guys' names that are on the team now. So who's the top 5 anglers in the United States right now?
Right now, Pat, Devin, me. I want to say Cody Bergdorf, Jack Arnott.
So I know there's been a big change in kind of the selection process, right?
Yeah.
Probably from a lot since then till now.
Yeah.
Right? Because now it's more so you've got to finish top 10 in your region. Is that how it works? It's been a while since I've been in it.
I personally do not understand the points process that we have. I just do the required amount of competitions. I don't know what they're worth.
Okay. But
If
well,
they say you need to do one, I'll either set one up or go join one somewhere.
it's real worried about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I believe the general premise was you want to finish top 10 in your region. That gets you basically an invitation to go to a regional, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right. And if you can go to the regional, then I think you can actually select 2 or 3 or 4 or something like that around the country.
I think 3 is the max. Is it 3 or 4? Maybe it's 4 is the max and only 3 count.
And then you
or 2 count.
So
I don't know.
You get so many points for your finish in the region. Then you get your regional wins, points for where you place, and then the or the national championship.
Yeah.
And then you add it all up in over a 2-year cycle, I think, and that's kind of your world team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So Glade did it. I feel like the appropriate way and the way it should have been for years. He took the top 6
For the world team.
Yeah.
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 You earned it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For both years, and we ended up taking. I think Austin was 7th in that cycle. Maybe him and Nick were tied on points, but Nick was up 1 based on a finish somewhere else. But we took Nick to France and Austin to Czech, and I mean, I don't think we could have asked for a better team to go to either one of those.
No, I agree. So, besides yourself, you had Devin. So you had a ton of experience coming with you with Devin, right? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you had some experience too, but Devin, I don't know how many world championship he's gone to.
All of them. I don't know.
Many.
I think 20.
Yeah. So
That might be
lots
right.
of
2000.
experience.
Maybe not 20. Maybe 15. It's a lot, though.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And this year, I think it was good for the way we set the team up as far as rooming goes. That's a spider crawling up that.
Yeah, there's probably some spider webs on these things, man. They've been out in a while.
They're in there thriving. But we said it. We let Austin room with Devin. So he's the newest world member. So he's stuck with Devin and just, I guess, got to pick his brain from while they were tying flies and
Smart.
yeah.
Yeah, that's smart.
So
You got the youth, kind of the younger guy with
Yeah.
the veteran that's been there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
and I think the rest of us have nearly an equal amount of world championship experience with
Youth.
Cody, Mike, and Jack all coming off the youth team, and Cody's been to 3 of them, Jack's been to 3 of them, and Mike's been to 2 now, plus like 4 youth worlds, and so.
Do you feel like that they each have like a different kind of a strength?
I do. I wouldn't know how to explain them as far as that goes. But I think everybody on the team is different in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's like I'd say for me, it's my mental strength.
Yeah.
I can go out and just knock the day out and be fine and not worried about nothing. But
Well, before we move on to that, because that was something else I want to talk to you about. Do you get nervous?
I do.
You do.
I do.
It doesn't show.
It doesn't show.
Yeah.
It did this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was days 2 and 4 that I was most nervous about. Even though I knew I was finishing on the lake, I knew I was going to have 4 days of intel going into that, so I didn't worry about that. But days 2 and 4, on the second day, I was on the upper. So I was on Devil Stones, and then the middle section that we couldn't really see as far as what the water looked like, so I didn't know what I was getting into. We could only see like one section of it, and the rest was like way off the road and just.
So it was the unknown that had you nervous.
Yeah. But Jack went in and he had a really good first session. I think he took a second or third. And then I followed him into that. And I didn't know if I had a good beat or a bad beat. They said the guy before me caught like 12 fish. So I was pretty sad because 12 was like 20th place.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not good.
But you got to have an angler to catch them too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the 12 fish that were caught were by a 12-year-old ghost angler, or however old he was.
Oh, wow.
From their youth team. He might have been 14. But he filled in, fished it, he caught 12. And I got looking at it, and I was like, man, there should be more than 12 fish in this beat when I finally got there. And Austin walked it with me, and we talked about a lot of things about where to spend time, and I pretty much stuck to that plan to a T. Like, I started at the bottom in a nice deep bend hole, and man, I was nervous. I was so nervous. And about 5 casts in, I seen one rise, so I walked through water. Because we did learn in practice that walking through water, you can turn around and catch fish in it.
Okay.
So I walked right through it. Went over, first cast. My dry fly wasn't even, it was still falling out of the air with the nymph going under it. Come straight up and ate it like a shark. And I set the hook and missed it. I was like, and I was patient with it, just missed it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, dang. And then I seen another one rise back where I was just fishing. Spun around and calmed my nerves a bit because my rod tip, man, it was going like that. And spun around, make one cast at it, and he comes up and eats it perfect and landed it. And it was like a 24-centimeter wild brown. Ooh. There was a lot of like 21 to 24-centimeter fish.
Wow. That's fun fishing there.
Yeah.
Eating dries, too.
Yeah. Landed it, and after I landed that one, I just took a deep breath, and it was gone. The nerves were gone after that, and my hook to landing ratio on that session was really good. I did miss a couple, but you're not going to hook every fish that eats a dry fly that you're dancing on the surface.
Right.
So you had to take that with, you couldn't let it bother you. Anytime I missed one, I would go on to the next spot and just skip it, give it 10 minutes, come back to it, and I would say like 80% of the time you could recatch that fish.
What about that?
Yeah. Just knowing where that fish is going to eat. You know, you seen it eat in a particular spot the first time you went through, so you're going to get back in there, set yourself up perfectly for that cast, and put the fly right there. And just about every time I would go back and recatch that same fish.
Sounds like the Czech could be a good place to just go vacation and fish, huh?
It was all right.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite fishery. Their stock trout, though, whew, man. I've never hooked a stock trout that fought as hard as those.
Strong, huh?
I mean, they'd tear your dang arm off. We were having to fish 2 and 3X on streamers just to get them in, and they weren't like jumbos by any means. It'd be 16 to 18 inches.
Just stout.
I mean, strong. It was unreal.
Wow.
I had a couple in the day 3 take me nearly to my back and just hook them and just bullets downriver.
Was the current really strong where they were fighting too? No,
Yeah.
they were just strong.
Just, I mean, steroids over there, I believe.
So your first session, you had a river session, right?
Yeah, I was on Devil Stones.
Devil Stones, and what'd you take in that first session?
Second place with 30
Took a
fish.
second place. You're feeling pretty good then, right?
I was feeling pretty good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that puts you overall in first or second, right? Or at least top 4
After
or 5.
after day 1, it was 6th place or 7th. 6th or 7th place.
Yeah. And then you were really nervous about day 2 because you didn't know, but you went in there, you did the game plan,
Mhm.
and how many fish did you end up with?
I don't know if it was 24 or 26. I think it was 26 because I got a second place, and first was 30 or 32.
Okay, so another 2 in the bag.
Yeah.
So now overall you're sitting 3rd or 4th, if I remember. Something like that.
It was still pretty high. I don't think it was 3rd.
Yeah.
I think I got to 3rd place on day 4.
I remember you basically texted or you posted or something and said like, I can't even believe this or something right now. And I was like, don't jinx it, man. I was like, there's still a lot of fishing to go. I was really nervous. I was like, this is a great start. But
That was for the team wise. Our team was sitting in first after day 2.
yeah.
That was a big to do for us. I mean, It almost felt like a win in its own.
Yeah.
Winning 2 days of fishing like that.
Oh man,
there was one venue. It's all the same river, or three of the venues was all one river, just different sections of it. So the lower section I had on day 3, it was producing anywhere from 0 fish to 40 fish, based on where you drew a beat.
Very beady, huh?
Very beady, and we drew some okay beats on it with 2 really good beats. I would say the other 3 of us had mediocre beats.
Wasn't it day 3? Because that tournament was like highs and lows almost. Like it was a huge start, right?
Yeah.
Like awesome start. And I believe it was day 3 where you got some bad draws, right?
Yeah, we had some rough ones on day 3.
And I remember thinking, I was like, oh, that's all, man.
Yeah.
This is not good. You know,
Yeah,
we started out hot, and we knew something like this was going to pop up, you know?
Yeah, we all expected it 100%. And we went from first place on day 2, or after day 2, to 5th place after day 3. So we had almost 100 placing points.
Yeah.
And I think that might have been the most placing points a majority of the teams took was our day 3.
And it's just a lot of bad beats, right?
It's 5 rough ones. And I scored 17 fish in that session, and still, I mean, I think I finished 10th place.
Yeah.
To take a 10 on a session, I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to come back from this. But
well, that probably led to your nervousness on day 4, right? Because 2 good beats, then you got a real bad one, and then now it's like, how am I going to finish?
yeah.
Right?
On top of that tough day 3, I mean, I still handled it well. I handled the pressure well. I did lose some fish while streamer fishing that I probably shouldn't have lost, but they just eat it so different over there. And didn't really have enough experience and practice with the streamers. I didn't. Some of the other guys did, so they were a little more in tune with how to hook and land them whenever they would eat. So, at most, I could have had 10 more fish in that session, and it would have only given me 1 extra placing point. So, it didn't really help too much, or it didn't hurt too much to finish at 17.
How was the streamer eat different?
They would just eat it so hard.
Oh, wow.
Just insanely hard.
Wow.
It was, when they're eating like that, I mean, they're eating and turning down river.
So you really don't, it's almost like, it sounds like you just almost need to, like your saltwater fishing, you just don't react. You basically just let it go, right?
That's where I ended up was just, I mean, they eat it and you just keep that rod tip down in the water and just.
Yeah. Because if you try to react after they hit so hard, you basically just pull it out of their mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were times, too, like you make that cast, you're stripping, boom, one eats it, and they wouldn't get it, and you just keep stripping. And by then, you're at your rod tip, so you have to lift and fish it.
Yeah.
Lift and drag it around, twitch it. And I think those were the easier ones to hook whenever you could get them to eat. But the ones on long-distance casts, they were pretty hard to hook sometimes.
Yeah.
They would either get it in their gills, they'd eat it so deep, or it would just sting them.
Yeah.
So there was like no in between for that. I don't know how many fish I had to dig in there and get a streamer out with.
Wow.
Yeah.
They want it, huh? Did you, as far as your entire championship, percentage of nymphing, dry fly fishing, and streamer fishing, what do you think it was?
Well, day 1, everything I caught was on a nymph. It was so windy I couldn't throw a dry dropper. It would have just blown out of the. So I was having a nymph, a single 4.0 on 6X.
Wow.
Yeah.
And not a lot of current for what you said.
It was plunge pulley.
Okay.
But not like insanely fast water.
Yeah.
So other than that, so day 2 was Day 2 was a lot of dry dropper. I caught almost half my fish on dries and half on the nymph. And they would eat the nymph while dabbing the dry fly too, so sometimes you would just I would call those luck fish more than anything. But there were spots I would throw in. I would almost throw in first and let it dead drift to see if one took the nymph because I was landing more that way. And if they didn't do that, I would throw back in and dab the dry, and sometimes one would come out of nowhere and smoke it.
Just create some action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes that jig and the dry and the nymph combined, one would eat the nymph at the same time. Not at the same time, but like they would hit the nymph sometimes and sometimes the dry.
Half and half.
Yeah, it was about half and half for that one.
So we, I don't know that we mentioned all the team members, the world team members there, but you've got Devin, you've got yourself, you got Jack Arnott.
Yep. Cody Bergdorf.
Bergdorf.
And Mike Kamara.
And then Austin.
Austin Shoemaker.
So strong team. Now you're on cloud 9 after day 2, right? We're gonna run away with this thing, boys. We're bringing home the gold. And then day 3 hits, and now everybody goes back to the house, and it's like, what's the attitude?
There's a couple people tore up about it, but we knew that it could happen to anyone at any time. Like, I just kept that in the back of my mind. It's like, it can happen to us today, tomorrow, the next day. And it just happened to be day 3 that we took a dump.
But you also have to consider.
I guess we didn't, but the draw did.
Your other teams are probably going to have a day like that as well,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, there were Frenchmen over there catching 2 fish in some of those sessions.
Yeah.
So, like, for that to happen is uncommon.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them took, I think, a 30 or 32
Yeah.
in a session.
So just real beady.
Yeah,
right?
it was
real
very beady.
That's not what you want.
It's unfortunate, but I guess it had to be that way with having 32 teams.
Yeah.
They weren't expecting that whenever they.
I think that's just tournament fishing. I think it's just part of it. You're just not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's probably why the English love the lakes, right? Because
Yeah.
they feel like it evens the playing field.
It does. It really does.
So you guys kind of just say, look, it was bound to happen. It did happen. Now it's off our back. We almost have to erase it, right?
Yeah.
Forget about it and go forward.
Yeah.
And I imagine you got your veterans, like Devin, and he's probably like, yeah, seen this before. It's just part of it.
Yeah, he actually had a talk with us. Not that I was affected, but some of the anglers were. They were pretty upset with how the day went, and he had a talk with the team about moving on, about getting it behind them. So, and we turned around and had another good day or two.
So now, where were you on day 4?
Day 4, I was on. I don't even remember the names of the rivers now.
But it was a river.
Yeah, I was on the Grayling and Brown Trout River.
So you had a lake. Your last session was the lake session.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So tell us about your day 4.
Day 4, I knew was going to be extremely tough because there was like 10 really good beats, and what's that leave? 22 not very good beats. Fishing all of them, but some of the water was this deep, and some of the 10 really good beats were like nice troughs and deep holding water for them, holding big rainbows, grayling.
Like just big schools of them, right?
Yeah.
Pods.
And again, just didn't know what you were going to get. And I get over there, and I've got a flood running through the river. Like, it was chocolate milk. And they take me to my beat, and it's like raging heavy water for about 100 yards. I was like, well, I ain't fishing that one. So I go to the top, and it's just flat as a pancake. Just like a lake, mud.
Two complete extremes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had an hour and a half to sit there and watch it. And
Why is that? Why would you have it?
They drop you off at the bottom of the section, at the bottom of the venue first, and I was beat 26, I believe, or something like that.
You just had a short walk.
I was way down there.
Gotcha.
And so I had an hour and a half to sit there and watch the river. And with like 30 minutes left of watching, I see a fish rise out in the middle. I was like, holy cow. And knowing what the river looked like, I was like, it's going to be low numbers to do any good here. So I'm sitting there watching. That's the only fish I've seen rise while watching. I walked it a couple times looking, trying to look on the edges, see if I see a fish rise there. Nothing. But no clue how deep it is out there. It was like 4 inches of visibility, if that. And so I get suited up. I start with a streamer, and I'm standing on the bank. And I make...
You're in the flat water, right? You totally walked past the Class 5 rapids.
I left all the rapids down there. I never even touched it. Didn't even put a fly in there. I stayed in that flat for 3 hours straight. And getting in was probably one of the scariest things I've done at a world championship, getting in the water in there.
With a rapid below you.
Yeah.
Right?
The raging rapid below me. I'm like, man, I don't know what's going to happen if I step out here. So I'm standing on the bank. I make some casts out and watching how fast it's drifting, and just it was ripping out there, but there was no like ripples, no swirls or anything. Just fast water, just a narrow chute, just fast. So after 10 minutes of nothing, I got brave. I took my rod and poked around in there, trying to figure out how deep it was. I was like, well, that ain't too deep. So I slid off the bank, and immediately I was almost waist deep. So it's like, man, this is sketchy. I move on out a little ways, and it stayed waist deep for a long ways. So I kept on moving out there to where I could make good streamer casts. And I mean, 5 minutes into streamer casting, while I'm out there, I hook one way below me. And I fight this thing and get it all the way up, and I was pretty pumped up to catch a fish. I was like, one fish is good.
Yeah, because probably lots of blanks, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there were 15 blanks that session. But I streamer fished down that section. It was probably a 100-yard section. I streamer fished down it 5 times, just covering it foot by foot. Make a cast, pull it through, take one step. Make a cast, pull it through, take one step.
Gridding it off.
Just gridding it off. And in that first pass, I caught the one fish. Next pass, nothing. So I went back and grabbed a nymph rod, put a big bright egg on, and I don't even remember what was above it. I think it was I put a big girdle bug on with an orange bead, and just drift, and about halfway down, I caught one on the egg. So I went back, nymphed it again, nothing, and went back. That was the 4th pass and I was 2 hours in after the 4th pass. That's how long that was taking.
And you've got one fish on the board.
2 then.
2, okay.
Yeah. And then I went back with streamer. The sun popped out for just a little bit, and I put a flasher on, and I started with a blob, and I don't remember what I put above it. I think a blank saver above it, just to keep that contrast low. It was overcast for most of the day. But as soon as the sun popped out, I put a flasher on, and first cast caught one.
Wow.
So there was my 3rd fish. And a few casts later, caught another one on the flasher, 4th fish. And passed on down through there, nothing for a long time. And then I had like 30 minutes left. And I made one more pass coming down with it and got down to the bottom. And in 5 minutes, I caught 2 more fish on the egg.
Wow.
Or on the blob. So I ended with 6 fish and almost doubled the entire field.
Wow. Took a 1.
Yeah.
Wow.
Second place was 4. Next highest was 3, and then just
Zero,
a
zero, zero,
bunch
zero,
of
zero,
2s
zero.
and 1s. Like those people that were catching 1 and 2 fish were like, oh, man, I did pretty well.
Yeah.
Somebody took a 4th place with 2 fish.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah.
So going into your lake session, where are you sitting individually?
3rd
place. Yeah. God, you've got the bronze sewed up, and you're going into the lake.
Yeah.
All right. Feeling pretty pumped?
I was.
Or nervous, more nervous. Cause
I wasn't real nervous. Austin had been on the lake for 4 days straight watching it and watching all these other teams catch fish. So everything he showed me, I took into consideration and got out there, and he walked me up the lake. He was like, there's a ton of fish right here. We get up there. They are rising everywhere. It was unreal.
So you can do that. You can watch other people's sessions. That's just part of it,
Yep.
right? If you've got, well, let me say this. Let me ask this. Every team can have one extra team member that's not fishing that can look around at
Yep.
things, and a captain, I guess.
A team member or a captain can look around at stuff.
Okay. So you guys said,
I think on the rivers, only the captains are allowed to watch other anglers. I may be wrong on that.
okay.
But, like, if he was on the river, if Austin went to the river with me, he could stand in my beat but watch another angler. Not allowed to tell me anything. Only the captain is.
Yeah.
So.
But Austin watched the lake the whole time, and he knew where the fish were.
He watched the lake the whole time. He walked up there. He's like, here they are. Showed me, and I was like, holy cow. I mean, there's 400 fish up there rising.
So so when you started, did every boat take off to that area or no?
16 boats on the lake, and I think 15 of them started there.
Yeah.
Where the other one, it went down the lake, and I don't know if that was Howard or not,
They were gambling, weren't they?
but Howard took a 2nd place, and he caught all his fish down the lake by the dam, and we were on the opposite end. But, yeah, it was.
That's pretty crazy because you know the last session, especially on a lake, everybody knows where the fish are, right?
Yeah,
At
every
point.
boat knew where the fish were.
Yeah.
Everybody knew where to go. You didn't have to. Yeah, and a lot of times lake fishing in these world competitions like that, it's also about who you draw on the boat with you.
Yeah.
My guy had never fished a lake before. I guess their country doesn't have any lakes with trout in them. And his fly casting was subpar. He was rocking the boat extremely, extremely hard.
Did you catch a couple of his flies with your ears?
I got smacked in the back of the head one time. Yeah. And I gave him the front of the boat to where, well, no, I had the front of the boat, but I was sitting in the back. So we were casting off our right side.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anybody to my right.
You still got smacked.
I got smacked. He tangled me a couple times. So it was a couple different games being played out there. You're trying to figure out the fish eating. You're trying to figure out your casting rhythm and your timing for your cast. Like, I had to sit there and wait for him to throw a cast before I even pick my flies up out the water.
Ugh.
And he would have 6 or 8 false casts. I'm like, man, this is awful. Because a good caster can go
Right. Yeah.
pick it out the water, 1 false cast, and they're out there 80 feet. And I'm not that good, but I'm 1, maybe 2 false casts to a good cast. And trying to battle that was not fun. But anyways, I started up there where Austin showed me, and I was paying attention to not only my drifts, paying attention to the fish rising, when they would rise, where they were rising, what the water was doing when they were rising, and I paid attention to what the other boats were doing. I think if you could just keep looking around, I mean, they said those fish hit pretty hard, which they did, so you didn't have to look at what you were doing. You could sit there and pull and be like, oh, I got one. And looking around and learning stuff the whole time. So I just put all that into account, and people were doing these big, long drifts. The pot of fish was here, they would start here and they would drift down to here. So after I realized that's what they were doing, I would go start at the top of the pod, drift through, and as soon as I got to the spot where I didn't see fish rising before, I turned around and went right back to the top of it.
So people were drifting way past the pod, wasting time, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I know other anglers would have caught more fish if they would have done that, because it wasn't the fact that they weren't getting bites, because some of them caught 5, 6, 7 fish.
It was just slower.
It was just, I put more drifts through that pot of fish than anybody else on the lake did. I didn't win the session, but I caught 8 fish. It got me a 3rd place on the session, 9-1. And I feel like if I hadn't gone through that pot of fish as many times as I did, I think probably 7 times, 8 times. And not every time did I catch a fish.
Yeah.
Sometimes it would be like 2 or 3 fish in one drift, and then we go reset, nothing, reset, nothing. And
well, your boat partner probably couldn't row either, right? If you don't have legs.
We had oarsmen on the boat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were also our judges. But our guy, he could row pretty good. I would give him probably like an 8 out of 10 on the rowing.
Oh, that's good.
There was a mild language barrier.
Yeah.
He could speak English, but he couldn't understand it as well. So it was kind of strange. But there was a couple times, you're on the lake, you're not supposed to be casting into the wind because it's deemed trolling.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple times he would park us and have us facing into the wind, and I would have to get him to switch it around. And we wasted probably 10 minutes throughout the course of the 3-hour session doing that.
It's pretty amazing. I've heard different people, like, you just concentrate on your fish and don't worry about other people. But I agree with you on the lakes. Like, that is so huge watching other. I remember when we were in Colorado, I don't remember if you were in Colorado or not, but we fished one lake where if you caught 6 or 7 fish, you'd take a 1. But the next lake, which you're thinking it's going to be a lot like the other, but it wasn't. It was completely different. There was fish everywhere. And I remember catching like maybe 35 or so, and I'm like, I'm taking a 1 on this, because I just caught 6 or 7 the other day before. I'm like, I got a 1. But I wasn't watching the other boats, and where I was constantly reeling the fish in, Jack was doubling. He had doubles every time.
Yeah.
I remember going back to and I said, how'd you do? And he goes, I caught 25, and he goes, on the first page. I was like, yeah. He ended up catching like 50, but he was doubled up the entire time, you know. And I just wasn't thinking about that. But if you're not watching your other boats, you're not gonna do as well.
Yeah.
So that's big.
And being able to tell what lines people are using is a big deal as well. So I watched the Spaniard fish. He was fishing it was either a type 3 or a fast glass. So they're not far apart. But, and he caught like 4 fish right in front of me before I caught one. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah,
I did feel a little pressure then.
Yeah.
But after I got a fish in the boat, I was fine.
So you said you were seeing a lot of risers.
Yeah.
But they were eating hard. So were you pulling mostly? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would not eat a dry fly.
Really?
I mean, I had 2 come up and eat the dry, but they were such new fish in the lake that they were like eating it too hard. So I think they would come up on it too hard, and it would push them away from what they were eating.
Huh.
Trying to get it.
Wow. Were they strong too?
On the lake?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Had us out there. It made us do a 180 one time. Spun us all the way around.
Wow.
Scored the fish. It was 42 centimeters.
Now, you told me before you left that you thought that the lake session was going to have a lot of small fish. Like,
I was hoping so.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
But they were bigger fish, huh?
That was the only big one I caught. I did see a few other big ones get caught. Probably 45, 47 centimeters.
Now, you said the fish eat real hard. They eat real hard. Now, I saw you sent me a picture of, I guess you were landing the fish in the lake. You were in the boat. Did Austin take that picture? Or?
Igor Slavic took the picture.
Okay. Igor's who I was talking about. That's the streamer fisher guy.
Oh, okay.
With the Czech team. That's who I was
their
thinking
captain?
about. Yeah.
Okay.
That's who I was thinking of. I just couldn't remember his name.
Okay.
But at any rate, I'll post this picture so everybody can see. But the rod that you're fishing is bending right at the tip. Mm-hmm. This is the stealth rod. It's strong butt section, very soft tip.
Yeah.
And when you have hard hitting lake fish, that's what you want, because that tip one, you can bomb it with that butt section.
Oh yeah.
But you won't bounce those hard eating fish, because a lot of times with a really stiff rod, which in a lot of 7 weights and 6 and 7 weights are really strong, right?
Yeah.
Really stiff. Those hard eats, they just bounce right off, you know? So did you feel like that helped you a little bit?
I think so, because I did catch plenty of fish that were like 27 to 35 centimeters, and it handled them perfect. I even caught a 24 centimeter perch, and it stayed buttoned up.
Yeah. Cool.
It was nice to catch a perch on the lake.
Yeah. It's a bonus fish, right?
It was definitely a bonus fish.
Yeah.
Because there were a few people with 7 fish, and if I would have got stuck with 7 fish, there's no telling where I would have placed.
So you're pulling lures and a perch ate it, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, they do like some lures.
Huh.
But I never had any doubles or anything hooked up. Everything I had was on. I only fished 2 flies as well. Most people fish 3.
Oh, do you always do that, or do you
No.
just decide to do that at that?
No, there was some info shared with me about some of the Frenchmen and Spaniards that were doing well on the lakes, fishing 2 flies. It's like, well, I'll try it, and it worked pretty well.
Do you think it was, I guess, less spooky to the fish, or is it less tangles?
I think a combination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, if it's a lot of, it can go either way. If you've got a ton of fish and you get a tangle with a 3-rig system, you're killing yourself, right?
Yeah.
But on a 2-rig system, if you get a 3, you can double up more often.
Yeah.
Probably. So it's a gamble. If you're good at not getting yourself tangled.
Yeah. Now, I did watch my boat partner fish a 3-fly rig, and his flies were only like minimum distance apart. So
really?
Yeah, that's how new he was to fishing lakes.
Okay.
So he did 3 flies, 2 feet apart, and there was like 3 casts in a row where he put it out there and got bit instantly.
Oh, wow.
As soon as they hit the water. I was like, ugh. That was before I even caught a fish.
Yeah. Oh, man. So you got a 3. You were sitting third. You took a 3. Did you feel like that was enough for you to get a podium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured if I could catch 6 or 7 fish, it would be a podium for me. And to be able to catch 8 was, I mean, I never really felt any pressure on the lake. I guess the only time I did was fighting that big fish that spun us around. Because his line, he tossed his flies out while I was fighting it, and the fish happened to be in front of him. So when he tossed his flies out, they went over my rod. And he was trying to pull his line back to him with his hands, and the rod was bent this way, and the fish was going that way, so it had backwards bent. I was like, no. I had to stop him from doing that.
Yeah.
Or he was going to break the rod while I was fighting that fish. That was a scary moment.
Yeah.
But other than that, that was pretty, I mean, I fish lakes a lot.
Yeah.
Not for trout, but for bass and whatnot. But it's all about being able to read that. And
I broke a rod on the lake. It's a huge time suck.
it is. I have been fortunate to not break a rod on the lake. I watched Russ Miller one time on Sylvan Lake. The horn blew for the start, and I was still taking my flies off my rod, and he was throwing his first cast, and his fly caught his rod and cut it right in half on the first cast.
Oh, man.
It's like, wow. And I think I caught one on the first cast.
And he's a good angler.
He's a great angler.
Yeah, and a great fly caster.
Yeah.
So
But,
you,
I mean, it can happen to anybody at
Yeah.
any time. So
yeah.
I've been really lucky to not have that happen.
Gust of wind or whatever.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of things that people don't pay attention to is like wind and your boat angle. Like if you're casting, and I guess the wind angle is a combination with that. But you got to take all that into account for when you're out there.
Yep. So your teammates, they also done really, really well, right? Like I heard it was a grind for a couple that just got really bad beats.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that got 2 really bad beats, and I think Devin was kind of like he drew like 4 mediocre beats.
Yeah.
And done okay on the lake. Actually, he done pretty well on that. I think he took a 4th. But yeah, there was just having 1 bad beat was enough to take you out of the game.
Yeah. So you end up with the bronze medal.
Yeah.
Right? And a big trophy. So
a big heavy trophy.
Yeah, what is that, concrete or granite or something?
I don't know, but it's
solid.
I mean, it was hard to carry around. Had to walk a mile with that thing.
Got the feather on the hook. That's pretty cool looking. And you got a couple of medals, the team bronze and the individual bronze, right?
Yep. And got another team bronze at home.
Don't they give you like a 5th of bourbon or something with that too, or somebody's?
No,
that's the
I
Masters.
guess it's based on the country that's hosting.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, which Czech is known for drinking. So that was another thing we had to battle with. I forgot about this. Was rafters. And
a rafter hatch.
Anybody that's fished western North Carolina and fished lower Nantahala,
yeah,
and think about those rafters coming down the river and just go ahead and triple it, and that's what we were dealing with.
Oh my gosh,
it was awful. Devin had a beer boat anchor in the best section of his water. Yeah. on the was it the lower or the middle section? One of those two. I think it was the middle section because he started on the lower. Yeah, he had a beer boat anchor down right there, and just it's crazy.
That is bad luck right there.
Yeah,
that is bad luck.
They don't care to drift right through where you're fishing, and not that it hurt anything except your mind about like.
Well, it just completely takes you out of your element, right?
Yeah, you got to pause for him to go through, and I mean, some of the time I would throw in right behind the boat and catch fish.
Yeah. So they're used to it, but it's just a different thing you got to deal with.
Yeah, it's just another distraction is all. If you could battle that mindset of having rafts and kayaks and people swimming and just it was a lot.
Well, like you said, you'd had plenty of preparation for that. I mean, you got the tubers out here, and you've got the Nantahala. I was on the Nantahala yesterday, and they were just in waves, man, just coming down through there. So the fish are used to it, like you just said. But it is something to deal with. So the team wins the bronze. You win an individual bronze. Huge accomplishment. I mean, only 4 or 5 other anglers have done that. Did you get plenty of texts and phone calls from?
It was a lot.
Yeah, just coming in like crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. I still get them. I got one 2 days ago.
That's awesome. Now you said your landing ratio was good. So did you
on one of the venues?
The one was good.
I guess on days 2 and 4, it was really good. Days 1 and 3 were. I mean, day 1 was awful.
Yeah,
it was awful.
Is it just the fish are just so different, or the way they eat? And
I hooked one. I set the hook, and before I could even fight the fish, it jumped like 10 feet down and across the river and straight into a boulder the size of your van there and came off.
Just they go crazy. They go nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I don't know how you prepare for something like that if you don't have fish that act like that.
Yeah. I've seen them fish on the Soquie act like that sometimes. When you hook them, they just go nuts and go flipping through the air and jumping and like a tarpon.
It was very similar to that, but these were big brown trout, and I was in the trophy section of that Devil Stones and caught a few big rainbows and big browns, but I think my biggest was 46 centimeters. It was a brown trout.
Yeah.
But man, it's hard to explain how hard those fish were fighting.
Yeah.
Even the small guys were strong.
Wow. That's a lot of fun. Did you fish the 2-weight much or the 3-weight mostly?
I fished the 3-weight in that section because I knew that there were bigger fish in there. But the rest of the tournament, let's see, days 2 and 3, I fished the 2 and 3-weight just back and forth, going from dry dropper to double nymphing and this and that, and it was back and forth a lot. Day 4, I streamer fished for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and then nymph fished for a little bit with the 3-weight. So I think I fished straight 4X in that mud water nymphing. So if I hook one, I am not going to lose it.
Yeah, because you don't know where you can't pull them out of the next tree or whatever. You can't see anything, right? Yeah. Well, cool. So are you spending much time on the water now, or are you just kind of still trying to recover? Getting
home from that, I haven't spent much time on the water. It's just been gone for 2 weeks, and I don't know.
Well, there's another big change that's happened since our last podcast with your life, and you got a little girl now.
Yeah, we got a 3-year-old daughter now. She's a handful.
It takes a little bit of your time now, right?
Yeah, but getting home from that, helping with the kiddos. I guess I do more of that right now while Lucy's she's in a master's program at ETSU. So her time's occupied with work and school. So I'm pretty much full-time dadding it and working the campground, still trying to run some guide trips, and not a lot of time to practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you if I'm sure you're still guiding. Probably not as much as you used to, but
I don't guide as much as I used to. I kind of put a limit on that. And if people want to fish with me, it's a little pricier because I'm only guiding 60 days a year.
Yeah. Great. And where do they go if they do want to book you?
Just call me or message me on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. Phone number is 828-788-0808.
There you go. You may get all kinds of phone calls.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be nice.
Well,
I'll still do a lot of guide trips if I get them.
You like to teach, right?
I do like to teach. And
I got that from your grandpa.
Yeah. I know that I wouldn't say I'm the best teacher. There's certain things that can't be taught, and that's why I feel like I'm not the best teacher, because I don't know how to teach those things.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like the natural instinct.
Yeah.
If there was a way I could teach that, I'd probably be raking in the dough.
Yeah. Well, what you can teach, and you do a good job of, is technique and when to do what.
Yeah.
Because, it's kind of funny, but a lot of people think tournament fishing is tight line fishing or Euro nymphing, right?
Yeah.
But it's everything. I mean, you've talked about dry fly fishing, dry dropper, streamer fishing, right? So it's knowing what techniques and when to use them, right? So, and that's you just don't want to focus on one technique or the other, because it's just what the fish want to do.
Sure enough.
And you got to do what they want to do, not what you want to do, right?
Yeah, well, most championships that I've been to, I've had 4 rods rigged up. So you got 2 nymph rods, one on the dry dropper, one with double nymph or single nymph, whatever you're fishing, whatever you figure out in practice. But you got a streamer rod, single dry fly rod.
Ready for anything.
Yep. Yeah. Ready for it all. Even if I go out to a competition and a fish hasn't rose in 10 days, 10 weeks, whatever, I'll take a single dry fly rod.
Because you never know.
You never know whenever.
Especially in a 3-hour session, right? Cause
you may hit a magic window that you haven't seen before in practice or in just previous months of fishing. You may see a window of blue wings come off, caddis, whatever, and fish just go crazy.
Yeah.
If you ain't prepared for that, you're not gonna.
Well, and I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen several times.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I remember years ago there was a tournament that was it was like the first year they were hosting it. It was an area that don't really host tournaments, and they did it was like a 10. You could only carry 10 flies. The tournament it was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest blue wing hatch I've ever seen in my life come off, and not a blue wing in the box at all.
Yeah.
It's like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can happen. Well, so you've got the next World Championship it'll be next September,
October 2026,
and it's here in the U.S.
Yeah, in Idaho Falls.
And the U.S. youth team just won the gold.
The women's and youth team won gold medal.
That's right. So you're gonna get plenty of intel.
Yeah, and mega high expectations.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Yeah, a little pressure along with it, right? With all that intel. Yeah, and you can go practice some if you want.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to be interesting is all the other countries. Like, what guides are they going to call up? It's going to be
I don't know.
Deemed traitors, right?
Yeah. So apparently, only people with guide license in those 3 states. It's going to be in 3 states. It's going to be Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming.
Okay.
So, and only people with guide license in those states can guide.
Okay.
For that. And I believe the game wardens are notified of that, and
so you can't go hire some old competition guy unless he's already guiding there.
Unless he's got a guide license for there.
Well, I really hope, again, not to put too much pressure on you, but U.S. has never won a gold medal.
No.
Adult team has never won a gold medal. So maybe this is, you got some momentum, you got some really good anglers, you got a good mix of
I think we've got right now
experience and youth.
I think we've got right now the best team that we've ever had.
But then you got to have them draws too.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely got to have the draws.
Little luck on your side.
And people say, you're going to have home field advantage in Idaho. But what they don't realize is Frenchmen, they can go in your backyard and outfish you 2-1 sometimes.
Yeah.
So people don't take account for that.
Well, you kind of done it in theirs, didn't you? By taking a 4th in France?
Half their team.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, I enjoyed doing this podcast. Thank you for sharing all your information and your experience. And I think there's a lot for an angler to learn just by listening at the different techniques and different things, and just learning more about you and the fact that you actually do get nervous sometimes. Sometimes, not often. But congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll catch you again on the next one.
Alrighty.
Hopefully not as long, right?
Nah, this was fine. This was a good time.
All right, man. Signing off.